And something that leaves me with is you gave us a lot of great advice and tips on proactive measures that we can take to protect our digital footprint. But I was wondering, if someone wakes up and finds out that they've been doxxed or harassed online, what's the very first step they should take?
So one of the things I just dropped in the chat, which I really encourage folks to look at, is a guide that we wrote. Truly, we pulled it together in the span of 3 days in the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk blowback. After Kirk was assassinated and folks started expressing themselves online, all of these watch lists were created, as we all know, with the names of educators and scholars and writers and journalists. And so our whole community of folks that we work with was just getting doxxed left, right, and center. It was a disaster. And so people are asking us for guidance, and we do a lot of direct support, but we couldn't be on the phone often enough all day to help everyone. So we created this guide. And the first thing, this is so maybe counterintuitive, but literally the first thing to do if you get doxxed or put on a watch list is to stop and center yourself. Because all of the things you have to do after that point are going to be a lot easier to do if you're not having a panic attack. And I'm completely serious. I mean, it is incredibly scary to get doxxed or put on a watch list, especially if people start bombarding you with threats or mentioning your kids or your parents, or, there are all these things that can trigger us so hard. And it's very difficult to take concrete steps to protect ourselves if we're really activated. So the first thing to do is stop, take some deep breaths, do whatever it is that helps you ground yourself. Breathing doesn't work for everybody. That's the first thing. The second thing to do is to secure your physical safety. And we offer guidance in this guide about how to do that. But there are some questions you can ask yourself. But the main question is whatever is happening to me making me feel physically unsafe, right? If the answer is yes, then you may need to contact law enforcement, but not everyone has had good experiences with law enforcement or feels safe around law enforcement. So for some folks, that's not the answer. It may involve contacting a close family member, talking to their employer, but making sure you can physically get yourself to a place of greater safety is the first step. If it's not a question of physical safety, then there are a bunch of things you can switch to doing in terms of your digital safety, right? You can tighten your social media privacy, and we give you links and instructions on how to do that. You can monitor your accounts for threats and abuse and then report those threats and abuse to the social media platforms, but particularly importantly, document all of it because you will need it if you decide to pursue legal action, if you have to get a restraining order or something like that. And then we have a whole bunch of other guidance